Hello everyone, welcome back to another oil change video. This time we're doing a 2006 Volkswagen Passat 2.0T FSI. The model year that this should be relevant for is between 2006 and 2011. All of the parts, fluid capacities, and torque specifications will be listed in the description below, so you don't have to dig around in the video for it. The first step is popping the hood, and the latch for that is located here on the side. So we're going to pull this. The latch to raise the hood is located here. All you got to do is push up. The hood has a strut, so it'll stay up by itself. We're going to take the oil cap off so that when we're filling the oil later, it'll drain more easily. And also, since we're here, we'll check the dipstick just to see if the oil is cloudy or murky. It was overfilled just slightly, so glad we're doing an oil change so that we can correct that problem. We're now going to jack the car up, and just to properly show you the jack point on the car, it's this one right here in front of us. You'll see that it sticks out slightly more than the other locations. Just be careful, the rest of this is plastic. So if you don't hit the jack point properly, you may end up crushing an underbody panel. We'll place the jack right where the jack point is, and we'll line it up slowly. Then, once we've lined it up, we'll start jacking the car up. Once the car is nice and high in the air, we'll find the spot for the jack stand together. Typically, you want to put the jack stand right on the frame. So here, you'll see that I've pre-placed the jack right where the frame connects to the control arm. We're going to slowly let down the jack so that the frame rests on the jack stand. And we'll pull out the jack and we'll work on the other side. And here we go. We hit the jack point and we're going to raise the car up. And here's a close-up shot of the jack stand point on the frame on the driver's side. And we're going to give the car a good push to make sure it's properly on the jack stands. As an added precaution, we're going to leave the jack in place in one of the jack points, just in case. Okay, so on the underside of the car, I just want to show you where the filter and the drain plug is. The filter is right here, and then the drain plug is about right over here. Volkswagen actually recommends removing the oil filter first, so we'll start with that recommendation. There's a little cap that covers the drain outlet for the filter housing. It requires a special tool from Volkswagen that we don't have, and many online forums just recommend making a little bit of a mess and removing the filter housing in one go. I have here a 1/2-inch drive with a 36mm socket that fits into place, and I will remove the housing now. Once we break it loose, to keep the ratchet clean, we're going to do everything else by hand. We'll let it drain out, and then we'll inspect the filter. We'll go ahead and start cleaning everything up. Okay, the drain plug is right here. I got my 3/8 ratchet with a 19mm socket. We're gonna break it loose and make sure all the oil goes into the catch can. All right, somebody put this on really tight. Okay, we're gonna give this one more try with the breaker bar since the plug is on really, really tight. Yep. Okay, let's see if it's removable now. Here we go. And all right, and as the oil continues to drain on the Passat, we're going to prep the new oil filter. First thing to do is to check the old filter. We want to make sure that there isn't any metal debris or damage that might be visible. It looks fairly good. Don't see anything, so we'll just put this filter aside. Next, we'll clean the housing a little bit. It's got oil all over it. Here's the old drain plug. Volkswagen actually recommends replacing the drain plug entirely when doing an oil change. I got a new drain plug from the dealer right over there. We'll take out the new filter and we'll set it up. It should come with the filter itself and then a brand new gasket. As the instructions say, you want the new gasket to have the little tab facing up. You'll see in the filter housing, the old gasket has the tab sticking up too. If you have some pliers, you can use that to fish it out. I have a little hook tool and I'm just gonna hook it out and put it to the side. The instructions also say to put a little bit of oil on. I'm just rubbing some of the old oil that's already in the housing in, and then we are placing that with the tab up back in the slot where it was before. The filter should go on either direction. I like having the label sticking out, so we'll do that right now. Lastly, we'll prime the new filter by adding a little bit of oil inside of it. Okay, now the filter is all set and ready to go. We're now going to prep the car and put everything back. So a brand new drain plug that's going to be torqued at 23 foot-pounds, and then the oil filter housing is roughly 20 foot-pounds. We'll first get started by cleaning up the oil pan area. Make sure that this is from us changing the oil and not from some brand new leak that is happening, which we can find on the next oil change because everything is cleaned up. "23 foot-pounds is hand tight plus about a quarter turn. That feels pretty good. We have our torque wrench set to 23 foot-pounds, and we'll give it a quick double check. Perfect. Next, we'll get the oil filter housing back on. We'll just give it a final little cleanup. The filter was primed earlier, and we'll stick that in. We'll give it a couple turns. I like it hand tight, and then we'll torque it to 25 Newton meters, about 20 foot-pounds. And if your glove rips, just take it off. Also, don't forget to take the little cap for the drain outlet, clean it off, and put it back on. Okay, before we fill the oil, we're going to level the car. So, first thing to do is jack the car up far enough to be able to remove the jack stand. We'll come over here, we'll grab that, and we'll slide it out. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. And don't forget about your wheel chocks. I forgot to film putting them on, but here's me taking them out. And the other side too. The Passat manual says 4.9 quarts of 5W40. We're going to start with 4.5 and then look at the dipstick. We're going to put the cap back on and start the car, and then check the oil level from there. We've given the engine a minute or so to calm down and let the oil settle. Now we'll check the dipstick. Remember, when you first pull out the dipstick, it's going to be covered in oil. You have to clean it off and put the dipstick back in to get a proper reading. So we'll do that here. It looks like we are right at the min line, so that's good. Typically between min and max, it's about 1 quart. So we'll put another half quart in and see where we are. The side of the oil bottle shows how much oil is left. It's sometimes a little bit hard to read, but it's a pretty good gauge. So now it looks like we're a little bit closer to halfway. So we'll keep going. We'll do another 25%. Now, remember that you don't want to overfill because the oil needs to heat up under normal driving conditions. So since the oil is cold, we actually want it to be firmly between the min and max line. And that looks pretty good. It's about halfway. We'll put the oil cap back on and we're done. Thanks for watching. If you're looking forward to more DIY videos, please consider subscribing. I'm Alan, and this is Metaloop.